Hey guys, it's me, Mr.250, and welcome back to Umineko. I really like how the song starts out here. It's very piano-y, which I like pianos a lot, and it's kind of got a very moving theme to it. Like, it feels like it's moving, and it's really neat. And then later on, of course, it goes really loud and stuff. I mean, same thing, just like much louder, so I have to make the volume really quiet so you can never hear it. But, welcome back to Umineko. Hope you guys enjoy it so far. I've been enjoying it, and I've been told that in relatively not too long is when things are going to start picking up. Maybe a few more hours, maybe, something like, I don't know. So we're just going to keep trucking along through this, what I would consider to be somewhat boring, but probably incredibly important stuff. And also, happy holidays to everybody. I'm trying to get this out, so it's hopefully out sometime Christmas Day, just so everyone can watch it whenever they're finished with their festivities and whatnot. But anyway, let's begin. We crossed the hall again on the way to the entrance. As we did, we once again saw that witch's portrait. However, the word saw is probably not the best word to describe that experience. It was more like our eyes were drawn to it. That woman's eyes, with their sage-like glamour, definitely had the power to make those who viewed it stand rooted to the spot.
Majo, Pt.13 か。本当かね。
バトラ信じてない？
Back when he had asked what this picture was, the first person to tell him it was Beatrice had been Maria. Therefore, when Battler showed signs of doubt, Maria must have felt that Battler didn't have faith in her. Of course, that's not what Battler meant. Maria ran up to the portrait and began banging on a plate hanging below it. Maybe the title of the portrait was written there. Maria, trying to prove that she wasn't lying, obstinately continued to hit the plate.
ああ、悪い悪い。別にマリアが言ったのを疑ったわけじゃないぜ。
バトラ納得。
When he patted Maria's head and apologized, she seemed to accept it, sticking out her chest and proudly oohing. See, I told you, just literally 2 minutes. 2 minutes into the kid side of stuff, and it's way more interesting than the adults crap.
我が最愛の魔女ベアトリーチェ。懐かしき。って、なんだこの怪しげな長い碑文はよ。
The plate did have the title of the portrait written on it, but it was much too big to contain only that. Beneath the title, what looked like a long epitaph was also written. If you just skimmed over it, several unnerving words would jump out at you.
すげえだろそれ。じいさまが書かせたものだよ。意味深だろ？マリア知ってる。黄金の隠し場所。
Oh man, treasure.
後ろ宮家の隠し
Oh man, hidden treasure, boy, this is gonna be exciting and not spooky or anything.
そりゃまた懐かしい話だね。っていうか兄貴、これマジなのか？
これを書かせたおじいさまは、この絵とこの碑文に関しては何も語ってくれないんだ。でも、親類たちの間では、おじいさまの黄金の隠し場所を記したもので、この謎を解いた者に家督と黄金のすべてを譲るという意味ではないかと、もっぱら囁かれてるよ。
マリア聞いた、マリア聞いた。黄金いっぱいいっぱい。さてな、10トンの金塊なんてね。私はちょいと眉唾だけどな。
しかしよ、こんな碑文を読んじまうとマジかなって気になっちまうな。
I think I already explained grandfather's upbringing, but let me also mention the Urshiormia's family's legend of the gold. Grandfather succeeded the Urshiormia family after it had been destroyed in the Great Kanto earthquake, and by successfully riding the stormy seas after the war, managed to accumulate great wealth. that much of the story everyone knows. However, from here on, the strange part of the story begins. Part of it is closely tied to Grandfather's black magic hobby, so its credibility is extremely low, but... well, wait until the end before you doubt or make fun of it. After the war, Grandfather correctly predicted what the future would hold and won in a huge gamble, accumulating a vast store of wealth. But there is a mysterious legend about how he gained the funds in the first place. Grandfather came from the family branch, and had no connections in the business world or the financial world. Even though he later built connections with the occupying forces, in the beginning he was supposedly a nameless person who had not yet gained anyone's trust. Money can only be gathered on trust. There's no way anyone would lend money to an untrustworthy person. How did Grandfather, whose trustworthiness was zero, manage to obtain the large amount of funds in the first place? It is said that, when asked that question, Grandfather answered like this. On a certain day, I encountered the Golden Witch Pt.13. Grandfather then went on and on about how he continued to research alchemy and techniques for summoning demons in order to become a great magician. And the entity summoned as a result of the demon calling ceremony was the Golden Witch Pt.13. He then said that he made a contract where, in exchange for his soul, he would receive fortune and honor. The witch then granted Grandfather 10 tons of gold. Grandfather used this gold as collateral to prepare a vast quantity of funds, and then used that to multiply his wealth by several times and revive the Ushiramiya family. It seems that the story was so old that our parents had already told it when they were still children. Had already been told it. Therefore, while our parents were still young, they explored this island in various ways, believing that the gold that Grandfather had received from the witch might be hidden somewhere. However, since there was the danger of them getting lost in the abandoned forest, Grandmother began to spread the story that the witch lived in the forest, and that approaching it was forbidden.
そんな話があったな。俺たちも小さい頃、親からその話を聞かされて、宝探しと称して島中はあちこちうろうろして、森で迷ってワンワン泣いて、しお兄さんに見つけてもらって、親にめちゃくちゃ怒られたんじゃなかったっけ？懐かしいぜ。
バカだったよな。だってよ、じいさまはその資本金で儲けた挙句でこの島を買うんだぜ。この島に来る前から黄金を持ってたってことになるじゃねえか。この島にあるわけがないぜ。
そうとも限らないよ。その黄金が元からこの島に隠されていて、それを確実に自分のものにするためにこの島を丸々買い取ったとかね。
That would make sense, I guess, why he decided to buy an entire island.
何しろ10トンもあるんだもん。安全な場所に移すより隠し場所そのものを確保する方が現実的だよ。
この碑文を書かせたのは2年前。
Oh great, now it's all gone. Hold on. There we go. I was thinking something looked really weird. It was because everybody's name didn't have a text box around it. That makes more sense.
それもじいさま自身ってなると、なるほど。黄金伝説も信憑性が増してくるじゃねえか。じいさまが後ろ宮家復興の資本金にしたという魔女に授けられた黄金が10トン。そいつがどこかに今も眠っていて、じいさまはこの謎を解けたやつに全部を譲ろうって、そういう、じいさまらしいセンスというか、なんというか。マジならなんとも景気のいい話だぜ。
The epitaph carved into the plate was very mysterious, with something like a poem or a song written on it. That paragraph was incredibly disturbing, filled with the signs of Grandfather's black magic hobby, and its contents were in bad taste. But it could definitely be viewed as a puzzle which, if solved, could lead to the place where the gold was hidden.
そういうつもりなのかどうか、おじいさまの胸中は想像もつかないけどね。一つ言えるのは、このうさんくさい碑文をおじいさまは一族全員に告示するかのようにここに掲示したこと。そして黄金の存在はほのめかしながらも 未だにその隠し場所について一切触れないこと。そこから親たちが想像を膨らませて、おじい様の知恵比べに違いないって言い出した。
欲の皮が突っ張ってるうちの親父あたりだろうぜ。こんなよまいことを真に受けてるなんてよ。じい様の黒魔術趣味はバカにしてるくせに、この隠し黄金の話だけは信じてやがる。調子のいい話さ。
確かに現実的な話じゃないよね。当時無名で何のコネクションもなかったおじい様に無償で莫大な金塊を融資する人物なんているわけがない。それがいたからこそ、おじい様はそのスポンサーを魔女と呼んだというなら考えられない話じゃないけど。
でもよ、10トンだぜ、10トン。一体現金に直したらいくらくらいになるんだ？
Quite a bit.
っていうか、とんでもない量になるはずだぜ。
とんでもない量だよ。人類が有史以来発掘した黄金はせいぜい10万トンって言われてる。人類の歴史が手にした黄金の1万分の1を個人が手にしてるっていうのはとてつもないことだよ。それが一箇所にあり、しかもそれをおじい様にポンと貸し出せるような魔女。ただものじゃないね。
私はよ、その10トンって数字も
It's just too round, doesn't it? It just sounds too even.
第一よ、じい様以外に見たやつはいないんだろ。仮に気前のいい魔女が実在して黄金を貸したとしても、それは10は10でも10キロぐらいの間違いじゃねえのか。
That's possible, I
10キロでも
suppose.
相当いい金額になるはずだぜ。10キロの黄金っていくら？
Maria, who wasn't following the story and felt like she was being spoken to in riddles, finally found a place where she could ask us a question. A question which I also wanted to know right then. Whether I hear 10 kilograms or 10 tons, I know that it's an incredible amount, but I couldn't guess exactly how incredible each one is. George Anarchy folded his arms and tried to remember the market price of gold.
さあ、金も相場の影響を受けるから何とも言えないし、純度や鋳造先の信用によっても変わってくる。
And depending on how much gold there is, like, on the market.
換金に手数料もかかるし。ただ、希少金属であることは間違いなくて、このまま採掘が進めば、人類はあと半世紀ほどで全てを掘り尽くしてしまうんじゃないかって憶測もある。デタラメに言って、1キロあたり200万円程度の価値はあるんじゃないかと思うね。
Wow.
ひゅー、私よ、10キロってのは今適当に言って控えめな数字なんだけどよ、それでも2000万円の価値があるってことになるじゃねえかよ。おー、マリア体重28キロ。
ということは、マリアちゃんと同じ重さの黄金なら、その価値は5000万円を超えるって計算になるね。
そりゃたまげるな。10トンならいくらだ？ 10 キロで2000万が1000倍だから、はあ、200億円か。こりゃたまらねえや。
How much is 20 billion yen actually worth? We can only measure it relative to our own pocketbooks. Anyway, let's say that wages over a lifetime are about 200 million yen. You grow up and work like crazy, sacrificing your life for your company, and as you approach old age, you are finally freed. Everything including retirement money could be about 200 million yen. In other words, that is the amount of money for a human's life. You could even call it the price of a life. So, 100 times the sum is an unbelievable amount of money. If you work from age 20 to age 60, that's 40 years of work. So it's equal to 4,000 years of work wages. It's like you worked every day starting from the Jomon period, which I'm sure is something Japanese related, and finally accumulated this much money.
200億円ってすごい？
ああ、すげえよ。 マリアの大好きなショートケーキだったら多分一生かかっても食い切れないくらい買えるぜ。
でも200億円という現金ならいざ知れず、それと同等の金塊がひとところにあるなんてとても現実的とは思えないね。
I mean, it's magic. Can you say realistic really comes into that at all?
さっきも言った通り、黄金は非常に重くて、
It is true.
財産を
Gold
ま
is,
とめておくには
while it
ちょっ
is
と
worth
便
a
利と
lot
は
of
思えない
money,
よ。
it is inconvenient to move about due to its heavy weight.
ものすごい額面の有価証券とか、ものすごく価値のある宝石とか、そういうものなら考えられなくもないけれど、戦時中の混乱期に自分の資産を持ち運べるよう全て宝石などに変えた人たちがいたのは有名な話だからね。でも黄金で資産を備蓄したというのはなかなか聞かない。
I suppose not.
確かに重いけどよ、国際的に一番信用されてて価値も安定してるし、意味はあるんじゃないのかな。証券とかだったら国が滅びちまったら紙切れになっちまうわけだ
That's
し。
true. That's also true.
そういう考え方もあるね。
And, you know, gold, at least with humans as the way they are, still carries value regardless of which country you're in generally.
でも 10kg のインゴット一つでも体感重量は相当のものだよ。聞いたことない？ 50kg の人間は背負えても 50kg の俵は担げないって。それだけの莫大な重量の金塊を個人が所有するリスクと手間は計り知れないね。
ってことはつまり200億円の札束がうなってるって話ならともかく、200億円分の黄金が山積みになってるってのはちょいと現実味がないわけだな。
そういうことになるね。黄金伝説なんて響きはとても面白いんだけど、そもそも10トンの黄金という時点で少々無理があるね。
そうやってリズムで考えるとみるみる嘘くさくなっていくぜ。夢のない話さ。
Though considering how much they're talking about it just makes me think this is incredibly relevant.
でもそこは何しろあのおじいさまだからね。親切なお金持ちからの融資を大げさに吹聴して魔女から授かった10トンの黄金なんて例え方をしたのかもしれないよ。10トンという数字も象徴的な感じがするしね。
つまり借りた金のありがたさは10トンの黄金に匹敵する価値があったってなことだ。
Yeah, maybe something like
じいさま
that.
に大金持ちの勇敢マダムが気前よく恵んでくれて、その後夫人を魔女と呼んだってことじゃねえのか。
I see. Jessica's example isn't bad. Someone who would generously lend a huge sum of money to grandfather when his trustworthiness was still zero could be called a witch. Furthermore, grandfather later used that money to build a vast amount of wealth. Someone with such a great ability to judge people might also be fittingly called a witch. Also, since she went to the trouble of lending all that money, she might have also enthusiastically guided how it was spent. The decision to unexpectedly get involved with the occupying forces and profit from the Korean War demands that it might have been inspired in grandfather by the witch. If you put those together, saying that he received wealth and honor from the witch might actually make sense.
なるほどな。ってことはつまりこの魔女様は後宮家復興のための資金を恵んでくださった復興の大恩人ってわけだ。となりゃじい様が感謝の気持ちを込めてこんだけでかい絵を描かせて掲げさせたってのも、なるほどおかしい話じゃないのかもな。
ひょっとするとよ、当の本人は見るからに魔女っぽいばあさんだったかもしれないぜ。
I don't know. I don't know. This seems like it's going to be way different than they're thinking.
案外当の本人に会ってみたらこんなに美人じゃないかもしれねえな。
ありえるね。ベアトリーチェって名前はいかにも洋風だけど、僕たち一族の名前がみんな洋風であることを考えると、このベアトリーチェって名前も 日本人名を無理やり洋風にアレンジしたものなのかもしれないよ。
なるほどなるほど。この美人は絵の中にしかいないってわけだな。それじゃあの立派そうな胸は揉めそうにないぜ。
Good to know.
鼻っから魔女なんておかしいんだよな。そんなのが地球上のどこにいるってんだ。
As I made fun of the witch, laughing, I was trying to separate myself from the kid I was 6 years ago, who was afraid of the witch in the forest. At that time, Maria tugged on my sleeve. The strength with what she did was filled with a little unhappiness.
なんだよ、マリア。
ベアトリーチェはいる。
Maria stared up at me. She had on her usual sour look, but I could tell she was angry because of the color in her eyes.
魔女いる。魔女はいる。
なんだよ、そりゃいるだろうよ。テレビをつけりゃアニメとかによ。
いる。魔女はいる。
I started getting impatient, not knowing why Maria was jumping on me like this. Then, Jessica tapped me on the shoulder and told me in a small voice.
バカだな。子供の夢に
What?
宿題
How is that his fault?
マリアは魔女とかベアトリーチェとかが確かに存在するって信
Well,
じてる
sometimes you just gotta have reality smashed down on her. Like Santa isn't real and
マリア
stuff.
ちゃんは学校の文集に将来なりたいものは魔女って書
Oh
いてあるん
no,
だ
I
って。
forgot. Yeah, Maria likes all the superstition stuff. Maria nodded seriously. Tears started to run from the corners of her eyes. I see. To a girl who wants to become a witch in the future, the existence of Beatrice was proof that witches do exist in this world, and was therefore an image she yearned after and admired.
魔女はいる。なのにバトラーが信じない。
うん、いるよ、魔女は。お兄ちゃんは信じるよ。
Wow, George. Seriously. You're gonna make her feel bad later when she finds out it's not true. George Anakin kneeled down and held Maria's head. Watching this, Jessica poked my side. So that's what it is. It's like on Christmas Eve, shouting that Santa Claus couldn't exist in front of a child who believes in him. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to shatter kids' dreams.
悪かったぜ。別にマリアの夢にケチをつけたわけじゃねえんだ。謝るよ。ベアトリーチェはいるよな。今もこの島の森の中に住んでいて、夜な夜なこの屋敷で何をやってるのか覗き見しに来るんだろ。だから森には入っちゃいけない。夜はいつまでも暗い森を眺めていてはいけない。森の魔女ベアトリーチェに見つかってしまうかもしれないから。バサマがそう言ってたんだもんな。
本当にバトラーは信じる。
おお、信じるぜ。ケチをつけて悪かったよ。
Just literally sweating bullets everywhere.
ほら、仲直りしようぜ。
I stuck out my hand, and Maria grabbed it with her tiny hand, and we made up. Maria didn't grumble any more than that, so George, Anakin, and Jessica were relieved.
あら、
Yet again, far, far more interesting than the adults' conversation.
皆様ここにいらっしゃられたんですか。てっきり海岸へ行かれたとばかり。
Shannon-chan, carrying a basket, was surprised to find us all gathered in front of the portrait.
シャノンか。いやさ、バトラはベアトリーチェの肖像画を初めて見るからさ。まあ見とれてたってわけだぜ。そうですね。見とれちゃいますね。ベアトリーチェ様って本当にお綺麗です。さぞや親方様を虜になさったろうと思います。
パトロン説の他にもおじい様の初恋の人だという説もあるんだ。どちらにせよ彼女に出会ってから数十年を経ているだろうにもかかわらず、今なお心の中に大きく居座り続けているんだから、それは今なお 虜にしているということなんだろうね。
やれやれ。これじゃ、ばあ様はさぞや嫉妬しただろうぜ。
私はよく知らねえけど、やっぱりそういうのはあったらしいぜ。ばあ様は金髪の浮気相手がいると信じてたらしいな。ほう、いい匂い。サロンからいい匂い。
Maria, sniffing, approached the basket Shannon-chan was holding with interest. After hearing that, I noticed a fragrant scent with the essence of vanilla.
申し訳ございません。熊沢さんからこれを皆さんにお
Why
届
would
けす
you
るように
apologize?
預
That's
かりました。
amazing.
なんだろ
I mean, I don't know what it is, but it smells good.
う。素敵だね。クッキーだ。
Cookie.
クッキー食べたい。クッキー食べたい。お召し上がりいただけますよ。でも、
After all, it's not like you can serve cookies in a place like this, in front of the portrait. Shannon-chan sent us a glance which seemed to ask what we wanted to do about it. But well, normally that would be considered impolite.
マリア、ここじゃなくてよそで食べようぜ。クッキーをお弁当にピクニックに行こう。ピクニック行こう。ピクニック行こう。クッキー食べれるなら行こう。
そうだな。ちょっと表の空気を吸いに行くか。魔女様の御前でつまみ食いもねえもんだぜ。
そうだ、もともと私たちは浜辺に行こうって言ってたんじゃねえか。行こうぜ行こうぜ。
シャノンちゃん、申し訳ないんだけど、腰を下ろせる敷物と水筒にお茶を入れてきてもらうのをお願いしても。
はい、かしこまりました。
Shannon-chan received her instructions, and gracefully bowed before retracing her steps. We headed for the beach on our own. Everyone headed for the entrance in a group. Feeling as though that witch was staring down at our backs, I turned around once more.
アトラ、まだ信じてない？
いや、信じるぜ。その方が夢があるしな。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェがじい様に10トンの黄金を授けた。それで、その黄金がどこかに眠っているかもしれない。しかもそいつを、じい様は怪しげな碑文に書き残し、見つけられるもんなら見つけてみろと俺たちを挑発してるってんじゃねえか。こういうロマンはあった方がいいってもんさ。
200億円の黄金か。私たち4人で山分けしたってとんでもない金額になるな。
一人頭50億円か。すごいね。それだけあったらどんな事業でも起こせそうだよ。いや、そもそも働かずに生涯を優雅に過ごせるだろうね。
50億円よりクッキークッ
マリアには金よりクッキーだな。しかし、50億円か。夢のある話さ。バカバカしい。
Oh, spooky. Hold on one moment, we're gonna reset the recording and get ready for the next video.